Hey friends, and welcome to my off-grid homestead here in South Carolina. If you are new to my channel, my name's Megan. My family and I live off-grid in South Carolina, and we have been on our property for just over a year. When we bought this property, it was nothing but raw land. All trees and vines and brambles. There wasn't a single man-made structure. There was no clearings, nothing. Like from the road, it was just a big old forest. A year later, it's completely changed. I have done a video that shows you everything we accomplished in the year turning raw land to a homestead, and I will link it down below. But today I'm going to take you on a tour of our off-grid homestead. This is the first tour I've done since we bought the property. Our driveway is 250 feet long. Every bit of it we cleared ourselves, cutting down trees. Then we had a company come in, bring gravel that we spread out ourselves as well. Now we don't have tractors, bulldozers, ATVs, anything like that, so every bit of this was spread using shovels, wheelbarrows, rakes, and our own two hands. It is definitely a sight that I love to see because it reminds me of all the hard work we put into getting it done so we can have access to our homestead and so friends can come join us on our homestead. Now you will see several of these wood stacks throughout our homestead, logs like these laying around our homestead, different piles of woods and wood chips, brush that we've cleared, things like that. Most of this firewood is pine, so it is for outdoor burning use only, but we can use it in the winter to stay warm as we work outside. We have a burn barrel, we have a fire pit to use. And the logs and all of this wood pile is just all from trees that we have cleared to make room for us to live. So seeing how much we have cut down really goes to show you how many trees we had to take out to make our life here possible. It looks fairly full still because it's all green and lush. But once you get into the trees, you can see it's actually pretty open. This was not what it looked like. This was not what it looked like at all. You can see the brush piles everywhere where we have been taking out tree saplings, and we will get them mulched this winter. Now this area behind me, these trees back here, on the other side of those is my garden. We are working on continuing clearing this out. We will drop these trees. This area next to my garden is where my greenhouse will go. And then this area right here will be part of a food forest for our family with things like fruit trees, nut trees, strawberries, vines, you know, blackberry bushes, stuff like that growing in this area. These tall pine trees are great for shade and stuff, but they don't serve a food purpose for our family. So I will be clearing most of this out, and as I clear, I will be adding back trees that produce food for us and food for our animals. And that way we are not just clearing our land and taking down a bunch of trees to hurt the ecosystem, but we're gonna build it up better. That is our goal for this spot. You may have noticed this spot and recognized it from our videos when our meat rabbit escaped the rabbit tractor. They were back over here, and this is where they were running free when we couldn't catch them. Now you can see over here how dense these saplings grow in this area, and this is what all of this looked like before we cleared it out. So it's a major difference from what it started as to what it is. All we have left really is to drop major trees. So like I said, next to that row of trees, which is right here, is my garden. I currently have the rabbit tractors going through my garden to keep the weeds down because they got a little out of control. But this is my garden space. Y'all may remember this area from when we were clearing it, dropping trees, and from different planting videos, garden bed building videos. I have all kinds of videos from my garden, including garden tours. But it's about 2,500 square feet. It has 6 raised beds here. They're about 6-inch raised beds, so fairly short. 4 raised beds in this row, and then 6 raised beds in this back row, plus an in-ground bed back there, and 6 berry bushes. It also has 2 in-ground beds up front that were my sunflower beds. My sunflowers have now all drooped their heads, dried out some. I just have a few heads left to harvest. I was just letting them get a little extra dry because we've had a lot of rain here recently, and then I'll cut them down, harvest them, and there will be no more sunflowers up front. I will probably plant some lettuces up there for winter time because I feed our meat rabbits all from stuff I grow here on our homestead and forage here on our homestead, and lettuces will be a great addition to that. I will also be adding in a lot of beets, carrots, some turnips, you know, cold weather things. They can eat the greens off of all of those and it's super healthy for them. Hey friends, y'all just chilling out? So this seating area was new to our garden this year, obviously, since this is a new garden. And this was my Mother's Day present from Kenneth and Declan. We can open the umbrella out, sit at this table, and have lunches and stuff. I can just drink coffee. I've done garden chats with y'all under this umbrella and garden tours where I use this umbrella, so it has been one of the best Mother's Day presents I could have ever asked for. It gets me out here in my garden, which I love to be in. The garden also has this in-ground bed right here. Currently it's planted with some pumpkins that are running along the sides, and I recently planted peas in 2 rows going down the center, and so I'm hoping those will come up soon, germinate before our frost. We don't expect our first frost here until about November 1st. Some years it comes earlier, some years it comes later, but that's the average frost date for our area is November 1st. So I'm hoping I have time for my peas to grow up and me to get some harvest in before our frost comes. Even when our frost comes though, we really only freeze at night for the most part until January, February-ish, and then we'll have some freezing days. We're still pretty warm, and even in December. I think last year it was like 60 degrees on Christmas Day. You know, even if the frost comes, it's not like a hard freeze. A lot of our stuff will still grow over the winter. Hello at the brush piles. This is all from clearing my garden area. More wood. Oh, wait. More wood and more wood. So this wood is stacked differently because this wood is all wood that can be burned indoors for when we build our house and we put in a wood stove. That's why this is all here, and while this pile right here is separate, that's just tree saplings that were kind of bigger around that we can cut into firewood. Now I did do a video about how we were going to lay out our home site almost a year ago now. We haven't gotten around to building it yet. We've just been getting our homestead up and running, but this area behind me is where our home site will go. And so as I sit on our back porch and stuff, I will be out looking over my garden. So that is where our home site is set up like this. It will run long ways with my garden directly behind me, and I am looking forward to it. But you should go check out our Homesite Layout. That way you can see what we have planned. We are still going to stay in a small house. It will be an off-grid house, small, 2-bedroom, you know, basically an open floor plan type deal. The only rooms separate are the 2 bedrooms and the bathroom. And those are all fairly small to give us more of a living space and kitchen space. I'm looking forward to being able to build that. I'm hoping to start it next year. Fingers crossed. When you see another yearly update tour, homestead tour video, it'll be a tour of my house. Another reason we chose this area for our home site is because it's pretty central to what we have going on for all of our major needs that we're building up right now. So behind me, we've still got to take these trees down, of course, but behind those you can see our truck in the background and our travel trailer, which is what we currently live in. And over to this side over here you can see our rabbit colony pen. So everything is fairly central location to this. So morning chores will be easy to get done because my garden, my rabbits, my chickens, and everything is all within this one location. So yes, we live in a travel trailer. Let me show you our home. We have lived in this travel trailer for 2.5 years now, I think is what it's been. We bought it in 2020. It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath travel trailer, 40 feet long. It is a Forest River 324 TS for anybody who's wanting to know. It does have solar and propane. You can see one of our solar panels in our 100-pound propane tank here. We have 5 more solar panels up here on the roof area, and then several more 20-pound propane tanks that I use for things like pressure canning outside, and then heat in the winter using a propane heater. So this is our travel trailer. You can see the white carport canopy we put over it. This is to reflect the sun. Because we're off-grid and we have a small solar powered system, we do not have enough power in it to run an AC unit, especially an RV AC unit. They pull a lot of power to get started. We do have a generator that we do use, but just to run it, to run the AC, especially how hot our summers are, we'd have to run it all the time. It would just not be financially smart. We would use so much in gas, it would be ridiculous. So we invested in this white fabric carport thing to help deflect some of the heat off of our RV. That does actually work really well. And then you can see this black sunshade that is over the kitchen window to kind of help deflect some more sun as well from coming in that window. This area next to it is also cleared. In the future, this will be the home of a workshop for Kenneth, a storage area, and an outdoor kitchen. For right now, it's just a play area for us. We have another table here. We have our smoker grill combo over there. Our fire pit right here. It is fairly shaded, so it gives us a nice relief and we enjoy it to have a little space for Declan to play, for us to hang out when friends come over and stuff like that. This area behind me is where goats have been moving through and clearing the brush out. You can see lots of brush pile, more brush piles. We've got a lot of brush to mulch this winter. You can see where our goats have moved through and how all of the small saplings are gone. And it's just these bigger saplings that are probably about like 2 inches, maybe 3 inches in diameter that we'll just need to come through with a chainsaw real quick and chop down. Our goats are right here. If you notice this area from our DIY killing cone, this is where we butchered our chickens. In that video, there were a whole lot more trees behind me than there are now. Every time I look at some of our older videos and I look at our homestead today, I can see that we are really making progress day by day. It's just slow going, or it feels slow to me. Hi girls! So we do run our goats around the property in an electric fence. It comes in handy because I can move them anywhere I need brush cleared. At the moment, they have pretty well cleared this area out, but the main reason they are in this space, because we had already cleared a lot of the brush back here, so there wasn't a whole lot for them to eat, but I want their manure on the ground so that it can fertilize this land. This area back here is very, very, very sandy soil. There's not a whole lot of nutrients to it. And so we're trying to build up on that because this is where I want more of a food forest, mainly like an orchard type deal. I want it back here. So again, it's out of the way. It's pretty central for me to come harvest food, but it's far enough away from the house and everything else that it's not something I'm going to visit every single day. So the goats are helping me to fertilize this area and, you know, with their manure, different hay droppings, tree leaves, stuff like that, dropping it on the ground. This is also where we had previously ran our meat chicken, so it has that fertilizer on it as well. And then once the girls move off of here, closer towards wintertime, I will start planting out trees out here, especially seeds, stuff that needs to be cold stratified before it grows in the winter. I'll start getting that in the ground out here, and I'm excited to see where our food forest is in a few years to come. Now I gotta make sure not to touch this because it is on and it will shock you. So from this end, you can really see how much we have cleared out. Our travel trailer is all the way back there. It's kind of hard to see in the distance, but we really have gotten a lot of area cleared out back here. We've slowly been working on getting more done. Currently, Kenneth is not able to help because he can't run a chainsaw. He did just have surgery on his finger where he had broken it. They put a pin in. So hopefully in the future and hopefully this winter, we will be able to get a lot more of these trees dropped and this area opened up. Now there is one trail over here that Kenneth cut in several months ago so that we could see a little bit farther back on our property, and y'all have never been down it that y'all know of. I've filmed a few like video intros and stuff in the shade of that area, but y'all have never gotten to see it. So I'm going to take you down this little trail, see how far back we can go, see what we can see, and what else our property looks like. So you can see the trail I was talking about. We've really got to watch for snakes. Copperheads do frequent the area, so we do have to be very vigilant. Holy goodness at that spider. So for those of y'all who have not been here since we bought our property, this is what our property looked like when we first started on it. So obviously this area hasn't been cleared yet. Kenneth just kind of cut in a path to see how far back he could get. If Miss Spider wasn't in the way, she's massive and I don't feel like walking through the briars to get back there. But there is like this drainage ditch area that runs right here. That's where y'all can see it cleared up to. All of these trees are on the other side of that drainage ditch. It runs right through this area. I think it's supposed to be a creek. It does get very, very swampy back here some parts of the year. Another reason I'm not walking all the way back there, because snakes love the swamp, and we don't go back here until winter time. So this winter, I will have to take you back there as we try to clear some more of this area. But it does get swampy, so we're thinking that that's a drainage ditch. It runs all the way out, but if you look, some maps actually show it as a creek. So hopefully when we get all of this cleared out, we can follow that creek line, drainage line, whatever it is, and see where it goes and what it's actually supposed to do. And then we'll figure out what we do from there. Now this area behind me that is all swampy back here, where all of these trees and stuff are growing on the other side of that drainage ditch, we are hoping to turn it into a pond in the future, dig it out, throw some ducks in it, make it a pond, add some fish so we can have fishing right here on our property. As you can tell from all of these trees behind me, we have a lot of space to go hunting, like deer hunting, but we don't have anywhere to fish yet. So that will be turned into fishing, and then the area behind it and like further back will be hunting. We have probably about 10 acres past this that way that we haven't gotten to explore yet, and at least 5 of those acres in the back will remain wildwood area for hunting in the future. So we'll only clear like another 5 acres back for our own personal needs, and then leave the other 5 for hunting. That's how we're going about it. Now, as we keep pushing back through these trees, we are going to continue to build up our pastures. Hopefully one day I can have horses and cows on this property. Horses have been a childhood dream of mine as long as I can always remember. My aunt had horses growing up, things like that I grew up around riding them, and I love it. They're one of my favorite animals, and I miss having them around. So horses and cows are in our future. Beef and dairy cows, hopefully a dual purpose cow. Our goats are going to be dairy here next year for us. We're getting there. Our homestead is coming up and running, so let's keep moving on. Under this tarp right here is our wood chipper or mulcher that we use, and then of course a pile of brush. Before Kenneth's hand was hurt, he would come out here on days that he had free and keep mulching this while it's all set up out here. As summer progresses here in the south, we have a higher risk of snakes, and especially venomous snakes. So we try not to go digging in brush when it's hot out and snakes are moving. We save that for cold weather. Now over here behind me is our chicken pen. We have 15 hens and 1 rooster in there right now. These are our laying birds that aren't laying yet, but should be hopefully any day now. And they're all hiding under their coop. It's built up so they can get under it for a little bit of shade, because it is hot out today and the sun is blazing. Now as you can see, we're over here behind the travel trailer. It's in the background, and this is where our rabbit colony is. There's a lizard on my colony. Let's see if we can see him. I think he thinks he's camouflaged. Oh, there goes it. What you doing, dude? You chilling on the rabbit colony? That's cool. Our rabbit colony is for our breeder does. It has 4 nest boxes in it. It has this black tunnel right here that allows them to get out of the shade and hide if they hear predators. This black along the side is shade cloth to keep them cooler. In the summer, it blocks a lot of sun in here. You can see where the shade cloth isn't and how much sun is coming through over here. And our girls are hiding over there. This area is fantastic. It allows our does to give birth in a safe, predator-proof environment, and for their kids to grow up all together, living together with their moms in a safe area. Our does co-parent sometimes, so they help take care of each other's kids. We foster kids between does, depending on who's got more, who has less, things like that. And this has just been amazing. It has produced so much meat for our family. And because we feed our meat rabbits for free on a forage-based homegrown diet, it's basically free meat, so I love that. I have videos on how we built the rabbit colony, videos on how I clean out the rabbit colony, things like that if anybody's interested. I know a lot of people don't like colony life because the rabbits are on the ground. They're more concerned about parasites and mites and fleas and things like that. We really haven't had an issue in our colony. We do a deep litter method on the ground. I don't think you can see that. With hay, different tree leaves, things like that, things I feed them. It goes on the ground. I clean it out once a month, and then it goes over in the chicken pen, which is just right there. So again, next to each other, I can get the waste over there to them. The chickens then scratch through it, make compost, and then I can add that to the garden. Now, one other feature that makes the rabbit colony my favorite structure we've ever built is our rainwater catchment system that is set up on the rabbit colony. Each one of these barrels is 55 gallons. So altogether we have 4 of them. We have just over 200 gallons. I think it's like 220 when they're all completely full. And they run off of the gutters on this rabbit colony. With a good rainstorm, it will fill all 4 of those up. And we have a video, of course, showing how we put that together. The only adjustment we made since that video is I had Kenneth cut this rainwater catchment system in half, so these 2 are only focused on this side and these 2 are only focused on this side. It is easier for me to lift up a section of it at a time to get in there and clean it and things like that if I need to, than it was for me to lift up the whole section. That's the only change we have made since we have put this into place. So people do ask me if we actually drink this stuff, and yes, we do drink it. Our animals drink it, all of that. It is safe to drink because I filter it. Now we do want to install a much bigger rainwater catchment system in the future. This has just been an easy, budget-friendly way to get started on it, and it has helped us out big time, but a bigger one is coming. So for now, with our small system right here by the rainwater catchment, you may have seen this in the background of some of our videos. This is a Sawyer water filter. It filters a gallon of water at a time. As I'm out doing chores, I just fill it up. So let's get that done right now so y'all can see. So the water filters from the bag, this is a 1 gallon bag, down through the tube. That's the actual water filter, and into this blue water can. Because we live in a travel trailer, it has a tank in it that we dump this into to fill it up. It's got a water pump on it that cycles our water. Once we build our house, we will have a huge, like 2,500 gallon tank, a big one, that will sit next to the house, and the water will run from it into the house, and we will have an inline water filter at that point, so it filters as it goes through. I won't have to do the filtering process myself. So we have plans to get away from this, but of course, as you start out, a lot of times you have to invest more time into a project before you can get to the convenience level of it. So if we had all the money in the world, we would have already set that up, but we don't. We are doing this on a budget, and it takes a little bit of money to turn raw land into a homestead. So this has been our method that has worked for now. If you are looking for a budget-friendly way to filter rainwater, I highly recommend this Sawyer water filter. You can get it with a 1 gallon bag, a lot of times on Amazon or sometimes at Walmart. They're not that expensive though. With all the craziness that's going on in the world, water filters have really increased in price. I guess part of the prepping thing, people getting nervous and so they're buying all the stuff up, is all I can think of. But they have increased. But look into backpacking water filters and hiking water filters and find one that suits your needs, because they filter down small enough to filter out bacteria, viruses, different things that are going to make you sick from drinking contaminated water. A lot of the home filter systems don't filter that low because they are set up to filter tap water, not to filter something like rainwater or pond water or creek water or something like that. This one is, because it's made for hiking, and who knows what kind of water you're going to find out there in the woods. So that's why we go with this one instead. It just filters down much smaller and gets a lot of that bad stuff out of your water so that you know you're drinking safe water. So that's how we water our family on our homestead. Conveniently located to my water system right here is my clothesline right here. So I hand wash a lot of our clothes. If we've got bad weather or something like that, we will go to the laundromat. I'm not against that, and that is a much quicker option, but I do enjoy the process of hand washing our clothes. I enjoy having them hang to dry, and I feel like it gets them cleaner. So when we have a lot of rain and then we have several beautiful days in a row, I will go ahead and hand wash all of our clothes and hang them up to dry. The only problem is, if you've ever hand washed clothes and hung them up to dry, a lot of times it seems that as soon as you hang them on the line, the rain comes. I tell Kenneth that's my extra rent cycle. This is my clothesline. If y'all see me out here hanging clothes, this is where it's at. There's my rabbit colony and my rainwater catchment system right there. And just to show y'all where we're at. Also, this over here is the garden area. In the next year or so, more of these trees will be cleared back and our garden will expand. So I will have the greenhouse and the food forest system on that side of the garden, and then the garden will expand this way with some more in-ground beds. We do really want to up our food production because we are on a journey to self-sustainability. So we want to expand our garden so I have more things to can. We've got our meat rabbits, we've got chickens for eggs, we've got goats that will be for dairy and meat in the future. Eventually we will get pigs. But when you're trying to feed animals completely off your homestead, you kind of have to do things in waves so that you can make sure you meet all of your animals' needs with what you produce. So pigs are going to be probably pretty far in the future as I try to build up what we produce and what we will have available to feed them. Well friends, that is our off-grid homestead. I hope you enjoyed this homestead tour and that when you watch our videos you kind of now have an idea of where everything is located on our homestead and how it works in relation to other things here on our property. So if this is the first video of ours you have ever seen, please subscribe and watch our other videos. Cicadias, man, cicadias. You mind? We have a ton of videos that show how we've turned this raw land into a homestead, and every day we get one step closer to making it our dream homestead. It just takes time and a lot of hard work. Blood, sweat, and tears have went into this place, but we're getting there. We're making it. So I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope you subscribe, you stay tuned, you watch our other videos. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite part of our homestead is. And if you have any questions about our homestead, how things work, where things are located, what our future plans are, let me know down below and I will answer those for you. That's all I have for you today, friends. So until next time, bye. I'll see you later.